I'm off to Reading Festival tomorrow to volunteer for Oxfam as a steward, and I've never done it before, but I'm very excited. We had our training last night and it was a 3-hour online, basically a lecture. I really wasn't looking forward to it, and there are so many other things I'd rather be doing on a Monday evening, but the majority of the training turned out to be quite interesting, and I learned a lot about what to expect for the weekend because I've never done stewarding before. I've worked in like office settings for festivals and with artists for festivals, but never with the public, so it's exciting. The most exciting thing is that there's a separate area for Oxfam volunteers and it has its own showers, phone charging, free tea and coffee, and a staff catering tent. So discomfort at festivals is my least favourite thing, and it actually makes me very anxious, and that's what this video is about. Someone asked me to make a video about how I stay mentally okay at festivals, and first of all I wanted to do it, and second because I'm going to Reading tomorrow and all those sort of pre-festival nerves that I get are starting to kick in, I thought it was very suitable. I've mentioned this so many times before, but I get terrible anxiety before I go away. I think that's the worst my anxiety ever is. It's to do with travel and preparing to go away and trying to get the right trains. I've had some really useful CBT, so it's a lot better than it used to be, but just the thought of going away makes my heart pound, and it's because there's so much that's out of my control. But festivals are really exciting and I always have a great time, so I have sort of developed some ways that I sort of manage my anxiety, and I'm going to talk about them in this video. Obviously what helps me might not help you, and these are only really little things, because the big problem is that I'm away from home and I feel trapped in this one environment and I feel like I can't leave because I've paid for it and it's like hundreds of miles away from home. So I can't really do anything about that, but there are lots of little things which I can sort of prepare myself for so that I feel a lot more comfortable and at ease, and I can just sort of ignore all the anxious thoughts and try and focus on having fun at a festival. I'm very aware that some of the tips I'm going to give in this video are so tiny and like they could just be useful tips for anyone going to a festival, that it makes it seem like I'm sort of overreacting and, I don't know, trying to sort of big up my symptoms, which I'm not. I'm just trying to help people, okay? And like I said, these things help me, something else might help you, but hopefully it'll give you some pointers if you are feeling really anxious about going away. So for me, the majority of the anxiety happens before going away rather than during the actual festival. There are so many what ifs that just sort of send my brain into overdrive and I can't focus on anything else. I worry that it's going to rain, I worry that it's going to be too hot, I worry about everything that could possibly happen in this weekend. And obviously it's not happened yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. There are just endless possibilities, and my brain feels the need to sort of prepare for every single eventuality. If my brain had its own way, I would bring like 5 suitcases full of stuff so that I was prepared for the weekend. But I've been to enough festivals now that I know the things that I do need and the things that I don't need, and know how to pack, not light, but more sensibly. So let's talk about some stuff that you can pack that might help you feel a bit better. This bag is my trusty camping rucksack. I take it to every festival with me, and I actually got it on Free Cycle when I was doing Duke of Edinburgh in year 9, so God knows how old it is, but it's still going strong. It's like one of those rucksacks which hikers have to keep all their camping gear in. It's got loads of compartments and it's really sort of sturdy, and it's got a lot of space, so it's great for festivals. I'll quickly talk you through what I put in each section, because knowing where everything is in my bag and that I can get to it easily and it's all nice and neat, that helps me a lot. I haven't started packing yet. I'm going to do that as soon as I finish filming this, but inside the main section of the bag, it's really big and spacious. I put basically all my clothes and the general stuff that you take for a festival, and I like to line this with a bin liner just so that if it does rain while I'm going to the festival, my stuff doesn't get wet. Honestly, I think that's my biggest nightmare, to arrive at a festival with a wet bag full of wet clothes and not be able to do anything about it for the whole weekend, and you're just stuck, miserable and soaking wet and cold. No, try and avoid that. I also usually put my toiletries in like a sort of wash bag in here as well, so that they're all together. At the bottom of the bag there's this big section here, and I have a sleeping bag which fits perfectly in this section, so that always goes in the bottom so that I can easily get it out when I need it. Then there's a pocket on each side, and usually I put bits and bobs in these. So I put like a toilet roll, hand sanitizer, a torch in one of them, and then it just depends what I'm taking to the festival really. I have got a packing video which you've probably seen. It's my what I'm taking to download video, and all the little bits and bobs that you see in that video, they probably go in the side pockets. Things that you need to access easily, but I try and keep things in sort of categories grouped together so that I know where they are. And finally, this section at the top zip's closed, and obviously when the bag is full, it is very full, so it's sticking more out like that. But in here I keep all the stuff that I need instant access to for the journey, so tickets, train tickets, purse, phone, you know, that kind of stuff. Generally I also keep a roll of bin bags in here too, so that I have easy access to them, because if it starts raining it's good to sort of put a bin bag over your whole bag just to make sure it's extra waterproof, and then they're there for the rest of the weekend as well if you need to waterproof anything or use it as a rubbish bag as well. The final part for packing is the stuff I put on the outside, because this bag's got loads of straps. It's hard to show you when there's not stuff in it, but at the bottom here where I put my sleeping bag, I usually put the tent or the roll mat there, and there's buckles to buckle it on, and then another one down here which I put the roll mat on, and then just on top of the main bag I sort of put my pillow on top of everything, and then I shut the lid and sort of buckle it in. And also if I've got like a jacket or a coat, I sort of slide that through too. So that's the main bag I take. Then I also take a bum bag. I got this in New Look this year and it was about £10, and honestly it's a life changer. Like I said, these may seem like really tiny things to you, but while I'm actually at a festival and I want to take something into the arena like a snack, my Clash Finder, my phone, I get really anxious about where I can put all those things, because I want to get in the pit, I don't want to have my phone in my pocket. But this has changed things. A lot of people make fun of me for my bum bag, but at a festival it is definitely cool to have a bum bag. And honestly I think they should be fashionable all the time because they're so practical. I love them. It really depends. Sometimes I just pack this in the bag, and sometimes I wear this on the journey with my train tickets and stuff like that in it. But on the actual festival days I put in my phone, tiny purse with my card and a couple of notes, and sometimes my ID if I'm going to be buying alcohol. I pack a lot of snacks, as many like packets of crisps as I can fit in here, and actually you'd be surprised there are quite a lot. And I pack my Clash Finder. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Clash Finder before. It's not something revolutionary, but I just can't imagine how I could survive a festival without one. If you type in on Google the name of your festival that you're going to and Clash Finder, there's a website called like clashfinder.org, and it has all the set times of all the bands on all the stages, so you can see what clashes and you can sort of plan which things you're going to see. The website has a feature where you can highlight which bands you're interested in, and there's actually 4 different colours you can choose from, so you can have some sort of colour code going on. It's really useful. I would definitely check that out. I'll put the link in the description for you. If you buy one in the actual festival, they're normally about £5, and it's a little piece of card like this on a lanyard, and it has each stage and then the bands playing on that stage and the time, so you can't really see what's happening when and what clashes. So I normally bring about 5, because first of all, if they get wet, they're unusable, they're just paper. Second, there's always a friend that hasn't got one, and it's nice to let them save £5 by giving them one. It's just always good to have backup, and it helps me feel a lot more prepared and organised if I know what I'm doing, where I'm going and when, and then you can sort of discuss it with friends so that you don't lose anyone in your group because you know where they are at all times. Carrying on with stuff to pack, being prepared for the weather is something that I really try to do. I know this is just going to sound really bratty, but if it rains or is windy, I get so miserable and I do not want to be there at all, and it's all because it makes me feel anxious, because the fact that I'm uncomfortable and I can't do anything about it just makes me panic. Yeah, I know that sounds like I'm just a spoiled brat, like no one enjoys being stuck in the rain, but I can't explain how much it makes my heart beat terribly fast. And for rain, wellies, raincoat, warm jumpers, towels, plastic bags like I've already mentioned to make everything waterproof, spare clothes, especially spare underwear and a spare pair of jeans, because if you get wet jeans that's so uncomfortable. And then for warm weather, which is probably slightly nicer, it doesn't make me nearly as anxious as the rain does, but if it does for you, then obviously prepare for it. And actually something I read online when I was looking at what to pack for volunteering for Oxfam was they suggested bringing a foil blanket to put over your tent, so that if it's really hot, because you know if it's really sunny in the tent it's just disgustingly hot and it makes me feel like I can't breathe, it's really muggy. So if that is something that could sort of set you off, then maybe a foil blanket to put over your tent to sort of reflect the sun off it and keep you and your tent nice and cool. Now to move on to sort of what you can do while you're at a festival to make yourself feel a bit better. I know I'm focusing very heavily on anxiety rather than any other sort of symptoms, but that is really, like, for me at least, it's the main thing that just it just is out of control at a festival. The main thing that I struggle with is not having time to myself, because usually I go with friends or my boyfriend, and you know I'm there to see them, I'm there to have a good time, and I feel kind of rude to just sort of take time to myself. And the way that I found to do that is to take my own tent. This has actually caused a lot of arguments over this summer. I guess it seems sort of rude that I don't want to share a tent with my boyfriend, But for me, it's just sort of a way to have control over my own little environment and have a bit of time to myself and somewhere to go if I need a bit of time. I also need a lot more sleep than the average person. When I'm at a festival, I tend to go to bed after the music and all my friends go out and do their fun partying thing. And first of all, that's not for me, so I don't mind. But second, I just need that sleep to sort of reduce my symptoms for the next day, because if I don't get enough sleep, then my mental health just gets a lot worse. If you're planning to go to bed after the music finishes or be asleep while a lot of festival goers are not asleep, then I would recommend bringing earplugs, especially if sort of sound can sort of trigger your anxiety, because that happens a lot for me. If there's sound that it just keeps going and I can't stop it. Oh no, people are noisy at festivals, it's just gonna happen. And maybe you go to bed while there's still music on the main stage or something, and if you want to block it out, that's a good way to do it. If it's possible, I think it's good to talk to someone who you're going with about, you know, that you're feeling anxious or whatever, because they'll be able to help you and hopefully they'll be nice and understanding about it. At least they'll understand that you're not being rude when you sort of go and take some time for yourself and go and sit in your tent on your own. You just need a bit of time to breathe and sort your mind out. And you know, with all luck, you'll be absolutely fine and your friends will be there to help you if you need it, so that's great. Another thing at a festival is I feel horribly trapped because I'm far from home. I've booked a train ticket for a certain time on Monday, and until then I'm just stuck in this field in the rain. I try to remind myself that if I'm not having a good time, I can just leave, I can just go home early, and that's not the ideal situation. But if I'm having a really bad sort of week with my mental health, then I can do that and I can just go to the station and pay money for a new train ticket and go home on the Saturday. That's fine. And that helps me sort of realise that I'm not trapped and I can stay here if I want to, and I go home if I want to, and that sort of relieves my anxiety symptoms a bit. Finally, before you head off to a festival, you should probably think about some logistics. First of all, what are you going to do about toilets and showers? Are you going to go in the portaloos, or at some festivals they have, like, you can pay an extra £20 and have the golden loo or the seat of luxury, and you get nice toilets, nice showers with like mirrors and hair dryers and all the lovely stuff. If the thought of having to use festival toilets just freaks you out, then maybe that's an option for you. At the end of the day, it's only an extra £20 and that's like 2 or 3 pints at a festival. It's not really that much in the grand scheme of things. From my experience, the festival toilets, I can cope with them, and festival showers are actually really good. It's quite nice. I find it kind of refreshing and sort of it clears my mind to get in the shower and just wash away all the dirt. Maybe I'm not like hygienically clean, but I feel a lot better than if I just don't wash. And obviously baby wipes, hand sanitizer, all that stuff, that can make you feel a lot cleaner and a lot better in yourself too. Second, are you going to be drinking or doing any drugs? And is that going to make your mood worse? Alcohol is a depressant, I think that's very clear. And as much as you want to have a good time, sometimes one night of good time can turn into like 3 days of not good time afterwards. So I guess just be aware of your body and how it reacts to alcohol, and if it's not a good reaction, then maybe don't drink it. Like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, it's your judgment, but just bear it in mind and remember that if you don't want to drink or you're not able to drink because of medication, then you're still going to have a good time. You can still go out and do whatever, same as everyone else. And talking of medication, actually, you should probably pack extra. That always makes you feel a lot more secure, that in case anything happens, I have more, and maybe even put them in 2 separate places in your bag, so that if you lose one set of pills, then there's more somewhere else and you're going to be okay. You could probably go to the sort of first aid tent and they might be able to help you with that kind of thing. If somehow you do lose all your pills, I'm sure, like, they'll be able to help. They'll be able to tell you what to do if they don't have the pills, at least. And usually at festivals they have the Samaritans, the charity, they have a stall there and you can go and talk to them. So if you're really not feeling great, you can go and talk to the people on the stall. They're really lovely. It could just help you feel a little bit better, and it's nice to know that there is someone there apart from, you know, your group of friends that you're going with that you can talk to if you need to. Final thing to think about is food. Are you going to bring your own? Are you going to buy it there? Are you going to buy it at a supermarket near the festival? Generally, I do a mixture of the 3. I get kind of panicky about the thought of having to carry too many things, so I carry some food in and then I go out to the shop and I buy more, and then I treat myself to nice food in the festival as well. It's not a huge deal for me, but I'm sure for a lot of people the thought of not, like, you know, not having their normal routine of being able to eat certain things, whatever, could be sort of a difficulty. So that's just something to think about beforehand and maybe plan ahead if you can. But you're not going to starve. Even if you just buy loads of multi-packs of crisps and eat them, that'll tide you over for the weekend. And I've been to so many festivals and I'm still alive, so I think will be fine. One more thing actually, phone charging. You can bring portable chargers, you can pay usually about £20 for the weekend for unlimited charging. You can get a solar charging block as well, they're really cool. I just get very anxious at the thought of not having my phone on me. Maybe that's not a mental health thing, maybe that's just more of living in a social media age thing. But there are definitely ways around it. So if you use your phone for a distraction, if you're not feeling good, or just you feel a lot more safe with it around, because if you need to, you can call for help, then there will be a way for you to charge it, even if you have to pay a little bit of money. It's probably worth it at the end of the day to have that little bit more security. Okay, so those are all the tips I have. I know they're not very, like, they're just little things that you can do to help yourself feel a little bit better, but I haven't cracked the code yet completely on how to just stop mental health problems. If you have, then let me know, please. I'm gonna go, I've got a pack for Reading and I've got a driving lesson, and I will see you once I'm back from Reading. Have fun if you're going to a festival this weekend. Have a good bank holiday. See you very soon.